Hi, welcome to my first video. I just wanted to introduce you to a track. I'm kind of working on it right now, still in the early stages. But I just want to give you a heads up on what I'm doing with it. It's kind of a dancey track. It's an electronic track. It's a little bit cheesy, but that's okay. I'm working right now entirely in Reason. I use Ableton, Logic, I use a few different things, but right now this is all in Reason. To start with, I have all my tracks set up. And I just want to start off with the first main line that I did for this. This is kind of the inspiration for the whole track. It starts off like this. As you see, it has that delay in there, which kind of adds the movement to it, because it's really boring without it. This is what it sounds like without it. Nothing much to it, but when you add the delay, it adds a little bit more movement to it. I started off with that, and then I started adding drums and bass, which basically just follow the same line. A little bit, again, nothing too crazy, but a little bit just adds a little bit more flesh to the track. And this is the drums and the bass as it is without the synth. Drums, again, very dry, nothing much to it. The synth is just a slap, or the bass is just a slap bass. Kind of boring. I need to embellish it a little bit. I just haven't done that yet. So, starting with that, I added a couple more synths to kind of flesh out that synth sound, but they follow the main line for now. And that is going to start right here. So this is, it has a second synth on there, which the third one's going to come in here in a couple bars. And what I did is really just to make that that synth sound a little bit broader by taking one synth line that follows the same thing, but it's in a different frequency range than another one that's in a higher range. So you kind of have, when you add the three together, it makes one big fat sound. And this is what that sounds like. So it kind of flushes it out a little bit. And that basically makes the heart of the track. Starting with that, it's going to go into a little breakdown part here, where it just comes down to cymbals and bass, which is just a ride cymbal in the bass. Again, it's getting a little bit more movement to it. It's adding a little bit more funk to it. Again, getting away from the just four on the floor cheesy. And then it comes in with the second set of drums, which is, I call this the Amen drums in here because it's basically, I just modeled after the Amen break. Slowed down, but it's again, nothing original, but it kind of adds a little bit more movement to the track. And then the synths come back in. And it all kind of builds up until you get to the end, and you have the whole thing. It's just all the parts put together. Now whenever I have switched between the more bare parts to the more fleshed out parts, I took a synth, actually a synth off of my Kai sampler, and just recorded it into an audio program. And just made a build-up out of it using the portamento and a slow rise on the pitch. So I'll show you what this sounds like. Let me get this soloed out. So and so that's going to come in right before after the drum breakdown, right before the main synth comes in at the beginning. So with that, I just kind of took those and pieced them all together into a little 3-minute arrangement. Again, this is very early, so I have a lot of work to do on it, but this is just the start, so you can see where I am and kind of how I get things going from the beginning of a track. So hope you enjoy at least the 3-minute intro of the track, which will appear after this. Thanks.